If you don't recognize your strengths, they'll get treated as flaws. Now, one of the key parts in helping people overcome their anxieties and find their natural leadership is uncovering their unique strengths. And that is because it's usually these very strengths that turn into the anxieties and the insecurities that they come to me to work on. Now, it's very common to place your strengths and weaknesses into two separate categories, which inherently means that you view them as two separate things. But until you realize that those two things are not only interconnected, they're the very same thing, you're going to have trouble finding that deep self-worth that you're looking for. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're really reserved. You've built a wall around you and you don't have a high opinion of yourself, which is why you don't tend to open up to anyone. Now, on the flip side, anyone who's lucky enough to be in your inner circle tells you that you're highly empathetic and you really relate to them. They're so good at getting their perspective. And whenever they share their problems with you, you tend to come up with really unique solutions for solving them. So how are those two things connected? Well, it could be that the reason you're so good at relating to other people is because you're really good at being in tune to the emotions of other people. And you know how to remove yourself whenever you're listening to others as well. Now, those two things are highly unique skills. However, these two skills, these two strengths turn into the very weaknesses that you struggle with when you're in a bad place or having a bad day. Your ability to remove yourself when listening to others becomes a lack of self-respect and lack of belief that you have any worth. And in turn, your ability to tune into other people's emotions end up becoming you searching for reasons to believe that people don't like you or don't value your words. Now, if you don't realize the relationship between your strengths and your weaknesses, you're going to start thinking that building confidence and growing yourself looks like maybe inputting yourself more when you're listening to other people, especially when you see so many people doing that. You might also try to ignore the emotions of others that you pick up whenever you're having a conversation with them. Now, doing these things will not only feel absolutely horrible and that's really hard because that's just not who you are, it's also you trying to remove the very strengths that gave you the ability to relate to others so powerfully. Recognizing that your strengths and weaknesses are the same thing is key in overcoming your anxieties because it makes you realize that things are not so black and white. You're not a set of good qualities and a set of bad qualities. And naturally, that transcends into an understanding that you have inherent worth even if you're having a bad day, even if you're having a bad period in your life and you're just not in the healthiest place and you don't really like who you are. You have inherent worth even then. Now, there's many of these strengths and weaknesses that a lot of us might think are completely unrelated but are actually the exact same thing. For example, being loyal, hardworking, and dependable, but also constantly being skeptical, always worrying about things going wrong, and being quick to anger. Or how about being highly in touch with yourself and your inner experience, but also always feeling really singled out and feeling like no one really understands you and that you are sensitive to the criticism of those around you. Now, those are all different sides of the same coin. Now, if this is something you're interested in working on, in uncovering your underlying framework and inner workings that make up who you are, so that you can overcome your anxiety and find your natural leadership in life, you can book a quick call with me in the link in the description and in the comments to see if we are a good fit for working together. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you guys soon.